Okay, hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Leah Martino, and I'm the programming manager for Black People Don't Tango. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Alex Berry, assistant to the director of Black People Don't Tango. Alex is a rising senior at Tulane University studying management and found his opportunity through the TRIP internships. The written story, Black People Don't Tango, can be found in the collection, View from the Middle of the Road, and the documentary version can be found on YouTube. Today, I have a few questions about you and your experience in Black People Don't Tango. So, firstly, how did you get involved with the project?
I got involved with the project through Mrs. C, through Tulane, and so originally I had a mock interview with her, and we just got to talking about what I'm interested, what she's interested in, and we started talking about film, and she told me that her son, Xavier, the director, was working on this project, and when summer came around, I asked if I could help in any way, and that kind of got the ball rolling.
That sounds great. Yeah, I met Miss C through the trip internships, and I've been working with her now for 2 years. So it's been really great working with her. She's great. And I also have met Xavier, and he's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so my second question is, I know this isn't your first experience assisting a film. So could you kind of describe that briefly? And Miss C wanted to shout Amy out also.
Yeah, so my first experience being a production assistant was with Amy Bailey, uh, who she was working on a feature in Augusta,
Mhm.
and I had the amazing opportunity to go down and be a production assistant in Augusta at the beginning of last summer, and that's really where I learned how to behave on set, how the set works, and got all the experience that I learned and used when we were on set for Black People Don't Tango.
That's really, could you like go into the specifics of like what specifically you learned that you
Yeah,
applied to Black People Don't Tango?
yeah, for sure. So, trying to think of a good story. So I really learned a lot about like the call sheets, right? And so like when I arrived to work on Amy's film,
Mhm.
um, Applewood, I had no idea how to read a call sheet or anything, and so that was like one of the major things. That's kind of like the steepest learning curve, at least for me, on set. And so when I learned how to do that, you really understand how important those documents are for the day to day of a set. And so I learned how to do that, and I showed Xavier, like, hey, we really need these. It keeps everything organized, and so that was a great experience. Another one is just like tips and tricks, kind of on how to keep everything flowing, like when you should start doing one thing behind the camera, right? So prepping talent for an upcoming shoot, starting when, because you don't really want to have your talent members ready to shoot, but not really shooting, doing nothing. So it's kind of you're playing with time a lot.
Yeah. Could you just go into what a call sheet is? I've never really done any film, so I don't really know.
Yeah, sure. So a call sheet generally has the most important knowledge to know, and looking at the front page, you kind of know everything you need to know for the day.
Okay.
So in general, call sheets, regardless of what you're shooting that day, will have information like the title, the nearest hospital, and the weather for the day. Those are kind of like the three things. There's a bunch of things, but those are the three things that I remember, as well as like where the production office is. So those are kind of generally on every single call sheet. But they also show like what talent will be needed that day and what lines will be shot that day.
Okay. That's interesting. That's really cool. My next question would be, what was the most difficult part about being involved in the production?
I think that um, the most difficult part was how small of a crew we were dealing with. So it was a very small crew, but it ended up being working great because there was a lot of like-minded and very, very talented people. And
Hmm.
so, despite the small size of the crew, we really were we worked together as like one unit really, really well. Everybody got along really well, and honestly, we performed better than likely crews half or double our size. So.
That sounds great. I'm so glad. And my last question would be, can you describe a day of filming for people behind the scenes, such as yourself?
Sure. So the day would start with the call sheets being passed out. That's typically like the first thing that everybody's drinking their coffee or eating breakfast or whatever, like when you get to set. Then, depending on your role, The next steps will be different. If you're talent, you're obviously going to get ready. For me, when I was on Black People on Tango, it was deliberating with Xavier.
Mm.
That's what we would do. Uh, Planning shot wise or tweaking the script. That was what we would do before the cameras got rolling. We'd be working on that. And then Xavier or somebody in the cinematography team would be placing the cameras and mapping out the scene before the cameras get rolling. And this whole time, there's like many things going on because you really want to just take the script and like make it the best it can be on the camera. And so um deliberation is kind of like, I'd say, like the deliberation phase, and then the next phase goes until the last shot when it's just shooting as much as you could get because
Mm.
time is money and you really want to keep the cameras rolling as quick as possible.
Mm. Okay. That sounds great. Thank you so much for talking with me. And thank you so much for all your work you did on Black People Don't Tango. And for everybody watching, you should check out Black People Don't Tango on YouTube when you get a chance. Thank you.